Today we're gonna make chicken parm. For that chicken parm, you need a sauce, so we're gonna make a sauce right now. Put the heat on medium low, a little bit of olive oil. I have extra virgin, but you can use regular olive oil as well. So I'm just gonna cook this garlic until it gets lightly golden. Probably gonna take about 90 seconds. Keep your eye on it, keep your heat low. And the tomatoes we're using are Sclafani crushed. But use your favorite tomatoes, your San Marzano tomatoes if you want. If you want any hot pepper in, just put what you want. I'm gonna put about a quarter teaspoon, maybe a half. Right when it starts to turn a little bit golden, add your tomatoes in. 99.5% of the time, I don't put sugar in it. Don't put sugar in right away. You gotta taste it first to see if you need a little bit of sugar. You don't have to add sugar. And then we're just gonna bring this to a little bit of a simmer. If you wanna use some fresh basil, you could use that. I don't like dried basil. I never use dried basil. I don't even buy it. It's not good at all. And if you disagree with me, Sicilian oregano or regular oregano, whatever. Half a teaspoon to 3/4 teaspoon of salt, kosher salt. And that oregano will really simulate that New York pizza taste. Okay, give it a little taste test, make sure there's enough salt. Maybe if you want to put a little bit something else in there, you can, but you really don't need too much. I'm gonna pull it off the heat. I bought thin cutlets today. These aren't ultra thin, these are thin cutlets. A lot of places, especially places that are geared towards Italian food, first they'll sell regular chicken breast, and that's gonna be your cheapest thing. Then they'll sell thin cutlets like this, and then they'll sell ultra thin. Normally you're gonna pay the most for ultra thin. If you need to pound them out, what you wanna do is you do this on a regular cutting board, any type of cutting board. I have 2 pieces of plastic wrap right here. So 1, 2. Say you're filleting a chicken breast, a very thick chicken breast. Put it down here, and you want to get them all kind of the same uniform thickness. That's going to allow them all to cook at the same rate. This is pretty thin, but if it's a little thicker, you put it down, you take your plastic, and you put the other plastic down on here. And you'll be able to do about 5 cutlets before your plastic starts ripping. And then you just take your hammer, and you just kind of press down and push away when you're doing it. And you'll be able to get them very thin, fairly easily. You could try using a rolling pin, you could try to hit it with a pan, but having a dedicated meat mallet is definitely the way to go. And this is a cheap one. There's definitely better ones you can get that are heavier. All right, so these are all done already, and I got 7 pounds chicken cutlets I'm doing today. The reason I'm doing 7 pounds of cutlets is not because we're gonna eat 7 pounds. Today we're not going to eat, but I'm making chicken rolls for all my pizza episodes that I've been doing, and I'm also going to do a chicken parm pizza. I really encourage you to make a lot of cutlets. There's so many things to do with it. You can also make a hero. You can make a chicken cutlet sandwich with lettuce, tomato, mayo, red onion. I have seasoned Italian breadcrumbs that I bought in the store. Here's flour and 3 eggs. This is gonna be enough for the 6 cutlets to even 10 cutlets. If you need another egg, you just add another egg in. That's all you have to do. And for the flour, even though the seasoned breadcrumbs already have salt and pepper in it, I'm still gonna add more salt into the flour. Now you can also just season your cutlets individually. You can do that too. Mix that together. So what we have here is our cutlets. I have 6 cutlets, our flour, our egg, and our breadcrumbs. And what we're gonna do after we flour and get everything on there, we're gonna put them right here on parchment paper. Doing it this way just makes it a heck of a lot easier. And some people will just do egg and breadcrumbs, and that's kind of hit or miss. Sometimes you'll do that and all of your coating will fall off of them. If you do the flour first, 99% of the time, you're gonna be fine most of the time. Okay. Oh yeah, and one other thing. 3 separate forks. Don't use the same fork. It's much easier if you just take out 3 forks. In the flour right here, and shake off the excess. Put it in the egg. You could use your fork so you don't have to get your hands wet at all. Okay, drip off the excess of that egg, and then right in here. Now ideally, you have three containers that are as large as this breadcrumb one, so then you could do a few at a time. It makes it really easy. And all you have to do here is give it a little shake like this. Shake again so it all fills back up in the area. Put it down and then shake again. And then you have a perfectly coated chicken cutlet like this, and then you put it right on your parchment paper. I'm showing you guys how to do the 1 pound, but I'm gonna do 7 pounds of these today, just like this. So if I have to use 3 sheet pans, makes it so much easier. Here's one batch right here, okay? And there's a whole nother batch right there. How do you fry them? What type of oil should you use? You can use canola oil. You absolutely can use canola oil. Don't let anybody tell you can't. Honestly, if somebody tells you not to use canola oil, you might not want to listen to anything else they're saying, because there's been millions of people forever, basically Italian immigrants who came here, they were using canola oil. They weren't using olive oil the majority of the time. Olive oil is expensive. And then furthermore, extra virgin olive oil, we'll go into that right now. Here's regular olive oil from Costco. It says it has 15% extra virgin in it. It's a really good deal, it's cheap. This extra virgin is very expensive, Frantoio. You guys see me using this a lot to finish. You don't use this to fry cutlets with. You really don't. Now, could you? Of course you could. I mean, you could do whatever you want. You could also use this one. This is the Spanish one from Costco. But the thing is, when you're cooking for your family, and even if you're single right now, eventually you're gonna be cooking probably for a few people, whether maybe it's friends coming over or whatnot. It gets very, very expensive to be dumping a lot of extra virgin olive oil in here, and you really can't reuse it. You know, you can strain it and whatnot, but you're kind of gonna get your 1, 2, maybe 3 batches worth of fry, and then it's gonna be kind of it. You know, if you want to dump your money into frying with extra virgin, go ahead. But again, you know, certain extra virgins like this are just not meant for frying at all. I'm going to fry these in olive oil. And like I said, canola oil is fine. The other thing that is probably on your mind, should you be frying in a cast iron pan or should you be frying in an aluminum pan? All of these cutlets, and I just did about five fries worth. I used 2 pans. Can you guess which one is in cast iron and which one was in the aluminum pan? I can't either. I don't even know which one it was. But for these thin cutlets, you're not gonna kill your oil temperature that much. There's really no measurable difference. So don't think that you have to use cast iron for this. I'm gonna pour in about maybe 1/4 to 1/2 inch worth, probably more like 1/2 inch. And this is a very shallow cast iron. I used a deeper one for these. So these have been in the fridge for over an hour. And this might help you. You can put them in the fridge like this. It will solidify the coating more, but for the most part, if you use flour, then egg, then breadcrumbs, your batter is not gonna fall off. All right, let's test it without an oil thermometer. You're looking for little bubbles here. There you go. See it right around the wood, how it's forming right there. If those bubbles were really coming up, that means it's too high and your cutlets are gonna burn. So now you can also test it one more time. Would take a little piece of the chicken cutlet that I just cut off and just throw it in. And that's pretty much how you want it to fry. About that, the bubbles will be coming out moderately, not over aggressive. All right, so we're good. And we're gonna put the cutlets in. Don't crowd your cutlets, make sure you put it away from you, not towards you. If you put it towards you, the oil's gonna splash on you. So like this, put it down and then away. Okay, same thing, down and away. They're gonna take about 2 to 3 minutes to side. They could take a little bit more than 3 if you have very thick cutlets. And if you're not sure when you pull it out if they're done, just cut one open. That's all you have to do, and you'll see right away if they're done. Take your fork, move it around. You can take a little peek when you think you're gonna flip it, see if it's brown enough. What's the difference between olive oil and canola oil frying them? Canola oil probably gives you a better fry. Now it's not as healthy. Olive oil's far healthier. And if you think you're getting a little browner on the inside, just turn them around how I just did, like this. Okay, just turned it over, see that? Looks pretty good. Probably about 2 more minutes. Probably looking at about 5-6 minutes total here. These are good. And put them right on the wire rack. All right, then immediately just go into the next ones, all right? It's gonna take 3 batches to fit in this little pan. Be very careful when you remove this. Just get it out of the way. Obviously you're working on probably a regular stove. Just let it sit before you try to dispose of your oil, before you dump it, anything like that. Here's the cutlets. And there's 6 of them here. This is about a pound. Okay, so all the chicken's done. My daughter's here, she's going crazy. She's like, when is the chicken parm gonna be ready, right? Yes, it will be ready soon. All right, so I don't want to use too much sauce here. You don't need to use any sauce on the bottom because you're using a non-stick pan here. If you weren't using a non-stick pan, you'd have to oil your pan and put a lot of sauce down. And that's fine doing that, but if you do that, you're gonna get, your chicken's gonna become fairly soggy. And now we got the mozzarella, okay? So this is Galbani, and Galbani's good. You can use Polio as well. And I'm not gonna use too much. And no fresh mozzarella here. If you want to use fresh mozzarella, go ahead. You release me though from any potential issues with it. You don't have to do the Parmigiano Reggiano. You can use Pecorino Romano. I have the Locatelli right here, which is great. This is really, really good cheese. Love it. But we're gonna do Parmesan today. So this is 24-month Parmigiano Reggiano. And let's just put a good amount on each piece. All right, do a little bit of Sicilian oregano right there on there. Okay. And we're gonna use just a bit of the really good olive oil. So this is just a drizzle here, not a lot. Okay, just a little bit on top. What that's gonna do is with the Galbani, it's gonna make it a little bit more buttery up top here. All right, so yeah, just a couple minutes in the oven at 450, and then broil it just for a second if you need to. This is really, really simple, and you have plenty of sauce on the side. If you don't put too much sauce now, you're gonna get it a little bit, you'll keep your chicken crispy. Some people like it that way, some people like it swimming. Totally up to you. You can make this swim. You can do whatever you want here. Now, truthfully, if I was making this for my family, I'd probably put more cheese on it. I just wanted to show a little chicken on the side there. It's piping hot right now. Put even more Parmesan or Pecorino, whichever one you used. It'll absorb into that oil because the oiliness from the chicken's still coming out. My wife, my daughter, and I think my son, I think everybody's gonna come down and take a test bite. So let's take a test of this. Let's see how it is. What do you think? Good. And that's how it looks, like that, and like that. Is it too hot, right? Or is it good? All right, what's wrong with it though?
So good.
Really? Your family is the best. They are the best telling you what's wrong with it, what's right, because they'll be honest with you. And my wife, my daughter, they're always very honest.
Can I eat more of it though?
Yeah, of course. That looks good. I just want to eat it. Like and share this. That would really help me out. And it really helps if you eat the food too, Sammy.
Well, my thing.